Welcome to Shomach Shova on the Daf. She is sponsored by Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Weiss. Leilu Nishmat, his father, Rabbi Yisrael Doiv ben Yehuda Tzvi. Zechoinu Livrocha, whose yortzat is Yud Beis Nisan. We're holding in Menachos Daf Ayin Vov, ending the 7th parak of Maseches Menachos. And the Gemara tells us, what is the reason we could bring lechem aponim from chitim, from wheat? It doesn't have to be soilus, it doesn't have to be flour. Says the Gemara, because at Torah chasol mamonim shel Yisrael, it's more expensive to buy soilus. So the Torah is chasol mamonim shel Yisrael. The Torah has pity on the money of Yisrael, and therefore you can bring chitim. Says the Gemara, what is the source? The Torah chasol mamonim shel Yisrael. Says the Gemara, it says in the pasuk, v'hishkiso es ha'edo ve'es be'iram. Meaning, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm going to take water out of a cellar, coming water out of a rock, to give water not only to Am Yisrael, but also to the animals of Am Yisrael. Meaning, HaKadosh Baruch Hu shows that He cares also about the Mamon, also about the property of Am Yisrael. Now, the Gemara Rosh Hashanah Daf Chozayin also says that Torah chasol mamonim shel Yisrael, and Rashi brings a different source. He brings it based on a Mishnah Maseches Negoim. It says in the pasuk, "V'tziva kohen ufinu es habayis," meaning that the kohen says to remove from the house, when it comes to say that the house has tzaras, to remove all the vessels from the house. Why is the kohen telling to remove all the vessels from the house? They should not become tamei, and he's going to have to break them. So you see, the Torah chasol mamonim shel Yisrael. So ask all the achronim, why is Rashi bring a different pasuk than a meferish pasuk in the Gemara Bayas and Menachos? The Gemara brings the pasuk v'shkises ha'edo es be'iram. So why does Rashi bring another pasuk? There's many answers to this question. We'll focus here on 3 answers. Answer number 1 that we're going to bring is the Noida Biyudo in Yerideo Tanino Siman Kuf Samech. He has there a tshuva to Rishaya pick, and he speaks about this question, and he explains that each one of these psukim is, in one hand, a better raya, and one hand is not such a good raya. Why? Because when you bring the pasuk that the Kohen says that remove the kalim from the house, that's not such a big chiddush. Why not? Why not remove the kalim from the house? You're not doing too much to come and save these kalim. So it's not such a big chiddush. Mashenka, we're talking about taking water out of the cellar. Because Baruch is making a special nace, more water, in order to save the animals. So here you see a much greater thing, that Baruch is coming to save the animals. He's going to create a new nace in the world. It's a much better raya. But on the other hand, Efsha there is for Am Yisrael as a whole. The whole tzibur needs to drink. The whole tzibur is going to lose their animals. So then you say that Baruch is doing a nace for them. But for an individual, maybe not. So for that you have the other pasuk that says the kli cheres, we talk about the kli cheres of one individual, we still save it. So it says the Noida Biyudo, it always depends which sugi we're talking about. When you're talking about something that has to do with the tzibur, so then you bring the pasuk, the pasuk Gemara Bayas Menachos, v'shkis ha'edo es be'iram. And that's what we're talking about over here regarding the lechem aponim, which has to do with the tzibur. But we're talking about an individual, and that's what Rashi in Rosh Hashanah is referring to, the individual. I mean, he's coming to bring a raya even for a yachid, so there you want to bring the pasuk of the v'tziva kohen. Even though the Gemara there in Rosh Hashanah speaks about the chatzotzros, but when Noida says the chatzotzros, an individual could do the chatzotzros for the tzibur. So that's the answer of the Noida Biyudo, the chiluk that you have between a yochid and a tzibur. The Torah Even there in Rosh Hashanah, he says that the Mishnah that Rashi is referring to, Mishnah Negoim, that brings that you take out from the house anything that can get tumo, really depends on the machlokes you have there in the Mishnah, the machlokes of Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon. Meaning, according to Rabbi Yehuda, you have to be mefaneh from the house, even things that don't mekabel tumah. That's what the Torah Even learns. So we talk about davar she'eino mekabel tumah. Why you have to take it out of the house? Not because it's going to get tumah. It's exactly to clear up the house. So there's no raya from there that the Torah chasol mamonim shel Yisrael. And that's why you need the pasuk in Menachos, according to Rabbi Yehuda, that according to him you can't bring a raya from pinus habayis. The Chassid Sofer in Shuvah Chelek Zayin Siman Yudches also addresses it. He says, really, it's not a question on Rashi, it's a question on the Gemara. Why does the Gemara not bring the Mishnah Maseches Negoim? And he goes on to say, also depending on the machlokes, he says like this: Reb Shimon is always dorish time in the Torah. So he says, what's the pshat the Torah said to remove kalim from the bais? Dorish time in the Torah. You see from here, Torah chasol mamonim shel Yisrael. If you dash a time in the Torah, so you can learn from it for everything. They're always Torah chasol mamonim shel Yisrael. But according to the ones that argue Rabbi Shimon, so they will say, Torah is chasol mamonim shel Yisrael, you say, but you learn from the Kohen only the chumrah. The Torah says, make sure to clear up the house, take out all the kelim. But lekula, the fact that I could bring menachos, I could bring the lechem apanim from wheat and not from soilus, who said you learn from there? If you don't dash at time of the car, I can't learn lekula. So for these Bandahamra, I have to bring the pasuk that says that the Torah is doing for the Mamon, doing nisim. And the Achronim bring a few other answers to this question. Anyone who wants to join or sponsor the Shomachshava Shiurim, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.